Hello, and welcome back to more Nic Fit. Just what you always wanted. I'm David from Nic Fit MTG, and this is the bug list that I've been putting in reps with ever since the bans. I think I'm winning about 60% of my games over about 75 games or so, so it's performing pretty well as far as Nic Fit's concerned. I've made some small tweaks here, but nothing too crazy off of the list that I was running before the bans. Um, so since the bans, Liliana of the Veil seems to be a lot better. There's a few different reasons for that. One, Liliana was mostly outclassed by Oko, and then I can't run my own Okos, which is both bad for this deck, but I think it's good overall because it sort of unlocks the bigger the bigger creatures, which weren't very good during the Oko era. I think I was only running Questing Beast and Primeval Titan during the Oko era. So Liliana of the Veil is something that I wasn't running before, and I think it's very good right now. One of the other changes that I've made since the bans is Elder Gargaroth. Elder Gargaroth is basically terrible in the Oko meta. I think I basically said like this is an unplayable creature. That all is gone. That's all out the window now with Oko gone. Elder Gargaroth is an absolute monster. The card is house in a ton of matchups. Interestingly enough, actually, between Elder Gargaroth and Primeval Titan, you're frequently siding out one or the other depending on the matchup. Primeval Titan is a lot better in the control matchups, where getting a Field of the Dead online is really good. And if you're facing a bunch of Strixes and Coatls and board wipes and stuff like that, just get a Field of the Dead online and it's really good. Elder Gargaroth is basically good in all the other matchups. This card will single-handedly win the game. It'll stabilize the board against any sort of aggro deck. Um, Essentially, if you're not facing Strixes and Coatls, like Elder Gargaroth is awesome. It's a little weaker if the opponent has Swords to Plowshares. I still keep it in against Death and Taxes, but it's very good in basically any matchup where there's not Strixes and Coatls and Swords to Plowshares. Like those are really the only cards that this is weak against. Um, this is an absolute house against Delver. Delver, I don't think I've ever lost a game against Delver where I resolved this card, where this card hit the battlefield. So it's a 5-drop. You probably should win the game, but almost always it's going to be a 3-for-1 at least against Delver. Other than that, pretty standard. I'm running 2 Uros, which are still very strong. Running 2 Plague Engineers. The sideboard maybe has gone through a couple small tweaks. It's still almost entirely geared toward combo, so I'm running 4 ley lines, 2 Mindbreak traps. That's sort of my turn 0, turn 1 interaction against like Oops All Spells or some of the other decks, graveyard decks. The carpets are you bring them in against Delver, you sub them for Veteran Explorers against any other blue deck where you don't want to give them a bunch of basics. Veil of Summer is just good all around. It's actually one of the things it's really good against is any sort of like a bug mirror. So it's really good in the bug mirrors where the opponent's got their own abrupt decays and maybe they've got Thoughtseizes and they've got counter spells. So it's really good there. Liliana the Last Hope is sort of something that I liked in the Oko meta, mostly for Dreadhorde Arcanist, but I actually think it's pretty well positioned right now. I'm leaving it in the sideboard, but I think against any sort of aggro deck, this is one of the best cards that I can bring in. This card is maybe like if I were to think about a card in the sideboard that's maybe iffy, this is it. Necromentia has been really good. This is a card that's great against any sort of combo deck. It's also good against even some of the combo decks that aren't like spell-based combo decks. So you can Necromentia and take out Thespian Stage, or you can take out Dark Depths, or you can take out Cloudpost. So it's really good in all of those matchups, as well as basically any other combo matchup. Even Necromentia against Doomsday, you can take out Thassa's Oracle, and they typically, like, you take out Thassa's Oracle if it's post Doomsday. You take out Doomsday if it's pre Doomsday. But it's a game-winning 3-mana card. Hard to resolve, sure, because Doomsday is a counterspell deck, but it's still one of the best cards you can have against that. If you resolve it, you'll probably win the game. And then 2 Liliana's Triumphs are just sort of, if I'm running this many Liliana Planeswalkers, these are my aggro hate of choice. So, against Delver, you can sort of see exactly what I'm bringing in. The Lily's Triumphs, Lily Last Hope, Carpet of Flowers, and probably subbing out some of the top end. Against Control, you could sort of see I'm probably bringing in the Carpets and not a lot else. Maybe the Planeswalker, just to sort of have something against Control. Necromentia, one thing I wanted to just touch on briefly, I don't bring this in typically against Control. I will make an exception if they're like a 3 to 4 Uro deck. So against a 3 or 4 Uro deck, a lot of those decks sort of have, like, Uro is their only or one of their very few win conditions, and Necromentia can be a game winner in that matchup. But otherwise, I don't really like Necromentia, because I think that those, like, Miracles or any of those sorts of decks, they have plenty of cards that can beat you. From Jace the Mind Sculptor to whatever the Angel Miracle card is. I can't remember the thing off the top of my head, but you get the picture. So they'll have enough game winners where you can't just take their one win condition with Necromentia. But if they are running 3 to 4 Uros, I'll bring it in. But I'm against like Blue-White Miracles or something, I'm leaving Necromentia in the sideboard. I am running 2 Thoughtseizes in the main. There's been a lot of combo on MTGO, so Thoughtseize has been pretty good. I'm going to keep it in. It sort of helps you try to maybe win game 1. There's very few matchups where I don't like Thoughtseize, but like Delver, where your life total matters too much. You do side it out, although it's not the worst card in the world. Mana base is pretty standard. I am running the Karakas still with no white creatures or white spells at all. So that's been pretty good. I have liked Hexdrinker. It's sort of won a lot of games that there's no other way to win. So it's been kind of interesting. I've really liked it. It's sort of like the mini Progenitus. This deck gets a lot of lands, and Hexdrinker, it works with that. I would say it's gotten a little bit weaker with Skyclave Apparition, because there's now like another non-instant way to kill it. But it's done enough. If I see a deck that has a lot of non-instant ways to kill creatures, I'll probably side out Hexdrinker, but it's something to think about. And Fiend Artisan, I've still kept this guy in. I've liked this creature. It's probably the card in the main deck that is closest to being cut right now, if I were to think about it. I could see myself maybe substituting this out for like a Sylvan Library, like a second Sylvan Library. I'm running one. But I've liked Fiend Artisan. It's been really good in matchups where you need like a Plague Engineer really quickly, but also, it scales sort of, you can always use it to get an Elder Gargaroth or a Primeval Titan in the mid to late game. I have found myself Green Sun Zenithing for it. So it's been pretty good. I think when this got spoiled, people talked about it as like the mini Tarmogoyf. It's still going to be almost as big as a Tarmogoyf. I've basically found that to be false. It's almost never as big as a Tarmogoyf would be. From a creature standpoint, I'd probably rather have Tarmogoyf, but the ability sort of puts it over the top. But yeah, it's been really good. The only sort of non-green creature in the deck is Plague Engineer, but that's sort of the main. That's one of the main creatures you want to get with it. It's also another sack outlet for Veteran Explorer, or you can sacrifice zombie tokens from Field of the Dead or something like that. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Other than that, deck's pretty standard. 5 removal spells. I have added the Assassin's Trophies, which were sort of out in the Oko era, but they're a little better now. You really needed those uncounterable answers to Oko and Arcanist, and now you can play into Counterspell a little bit more with Assassin's Trophy. It's still really good. It hits a few things that people are playing a little bit more of, like the whale in Delver. So it's been good. And you know, it's an out to any big problem like Jace or yeah, anything like that. So that's where we are. So I'm going to dive right into a league and see how this goes. Let's see. Legacy League. I was playing Hunting Grounds. I'm not going to play that in. I don't even have 100 play points. Huh? What happened? Yeah. So we want the bug fair list. Cool. So I'll play with tickets. And I'm going to play the bug fair list, and we'll see how this goes. I have one trophy this season already, but it's not on Nic Fit. I've gotten so many 4-1s with this list, but I've never gotten the 5-0 with this Nic Fit list. So I think I've gotten 4-1s like 4 or 5 times with this list. I think I've played about not quite 20 leagues. I think I've played about 15 leagues with it, and I think I have four or maybe 5 4-1s with this list. I've only made small tweaks. You'll notice, going back to the list while we wait, one of the things that I was running in the Oko here, I was running back to basics. And even though back to basics is arguably a little bit better now that nobody's running Arkham's Astrolabe, I still don't really like it. One of the things that made it a little bit better was that there was a lot of mono green Cloudpost running around, and that deck is almost unwinnable. You know, it's like that matchup is almost unwinnable. Nic Fit just doesn't match up well against that at all. So but there's a lot less of it running around, and I'm just going to sort of rely on discard and Necromentia in that matchup. It's good in other matchups. It's good against lands, and it's good in some other matchups. But you know, those just aren't the worst matchups for Nic Fit. So I sort of removed the back to basics, and I went with this sort of a mix. Not a whole lot else to talk about on the list. Still liking Leyline over any of the other options. You know, it just wins a ton of games against Ouphe or other things. Where you need a turn 0, you need something turn 0, and you know, especially with Ouphe even running, what do you call that, the Chancellor of the Annex, you know, you need something that's free basically. So Leyline of the Void sort of that's been the card of choice, even though you know they run a bunch of Force of Vigors and other things to try to take it out. You know, even if it just buys a couple turns, that's what you need. You know, against Ouphe, you know, in a couple turns you just use your discard, use Collector Ouphe, you know, use some of the other things like that, and you'll win the game. Against Ouphe, typically a resolved Scavenging Ooze with 1 green mana open ends the game. You know, they just have no outs to that at all. So yeah, I actually haven't found Ouphe to be the worst matchup. All right, here, awesome, cool. So let's see. All right, I don't think I played this person. Lost the die roll and get a hand that I have to mulligan. That's sort of unfortunate, and my opponent does not mulligan. All right. Oh man, and this hand is bad. I can't cast a single spell in my hand. I have 2 islands and a Phyrexian Tower. Now this is what you get sometimes in Nic Fit. You get these hands that are so clunky you can't do anything. Like if one of these was a fetch land or a forest, you know, this is a great hand, but or not great, but it's okay. But I have to mulligan it. This is not that great either, but I'm gonna keep it. The Veteran Explorer is probably, well, I'm definitely bottoming the Primeval Titan. And then as my second bottom here, let's see, I can at least cast the Plague Engineer. And I can cast the Thoughtseize. I don't know if I care that much about the island, although it's a basic. I might bottom the Veteran Explorer and see what happens. This is definitely a bad start. Let's see here. I'm just writing down how I did against my mulligans because I keep track of those. Alright, my opponent is pondering. That's fine. So with Tropical Island off of Windswept Heath, that's sort of surprising. You know, normally the blue decks are running all blue fetches. So I don't know what this is. I mean, I guess I'm going to find out right away with Thoughtseize, but it's sort of surprising because this is not... I feel like that's a slightly atypical start. Ah, Infect. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not super worried about Blighted Agent. Yeah, not super worried about Blighted Agent. So I might just take the Invigorate and see what happens. My opponent has plenty of lands, and they have... yeah, Inkmoth is fine. Blighted Agent is fine. And now the chip infect damage starts coming in. Yeah, I mean, they can have Invigorate Berserk here and I just lose the game. This is not the easiest matchup for Nic Fit. Overall, Infect isn't, but it's not the worst. Liliana Last Hope's great in this matchup. Carpet of Flowers is good in this matchup. Veil's decent because they run a lot of free counter spells. You know, I don't hate this matchup. Okay, they're just getting in with the Blighted Agent, leaving the Berserk up. We'll see if they go for the win. No. Second Blighted Agent. Well, that makes my call really easy. I'm gonna jam the Plague Engineer off of the Forest. My other option, I could, yeah, I mean, I think there's nothing here that's as good as the Plague Engineer. So I think that's the play. They run Daze, they're a Daze deck, but I know that they only have 2 cards, so it sucks, but I think the highest upside here is the Plague Engineer. So I'm gonna try to stick one. This is a risky play, but I got it. All right. So I'm gonna name Human because that also gets Noble Hierarch, which they also run. So, yep, Inkmoth. Inkmoth is dangerous to me. Oh, they have it. Yep, nothing I can do there. Oh, that's game. Okay. So, yeah, this is a really fast matchup. But, yeah. So there's lots of things that are good here. Liliana Last Hope's good. Liliana's Triumph's good. The top end is basically all bad in Primeval Titan. I don't even think Questing Beast is very good. They don't run anything that really, like, you know, there's combat in this matchup, but not like they're not blocking anything that I'm doing, and they typically don't run any planeswalkers now that Oko's out. The Uros are worthless because they're not trying to deal damage to my life total, so like the gaining of life is not very good. It's possible I might leave in 1, but it's just not a very good card in the matchup. Veteran Explorer's fine. They do run basics, but typically only 1 or sometimes 2. All the discards good. Hexdrinker is good just as a blocker for Glistener Elf. Collector Ouphe doesn't really do anything, but again, it's a blocker. Sometimes you just need blockers. All the things that kill stuff are good. I think Carpet is good in this matchup. I think I want the Carpets. The Veils are a maybe. They do run counter spells, but you know, you're you're tapping out in this matchup. I don't know if I'm going to be... I mean, sometimes it is important to stick things, but yeah, Sylvan Library is fine because I can use my life total as a resource. Rec Sage is good. They run a Sylvan Library typically. Eternal Witness is not stellar, but sometimes you need it to like get back an Assassin's Trophy or something. Probably trim the second Uro, and let's see, I want all of that. Collector Ouphe is not great. I definitely want the Lilianas of the Veil. I think Elder Gargaroth is good in this matchup because it can block the flyers. Okay, one more trim. It's probably Collector Ouphe, you know, because it's just a dumb 2/2 blocker. They don't run any artifacts. All right, well, let's see if we can get one here. Maybe I won't have to mulligan to 5. All right, let's play. Okay, let's see. I don't mind this. It's a little risky because they're a wasteland deck, but I can open with the Cabal Therapy and then Green Sun Zenith for 1 and get the Veteran Explorer and do the thing. So I think this is a keep. Alright, and in this matchup you typically want to hit Invigorate, or you want to hit their creatures, because they only run 12 Infectors, so if you can kill 12 Infectors, like if you can run them out of creatures, like you win the game. But I'm going to get Invigorate, because that's really what their explosive starts usually have. Alright, Invigorate. Nope. The big whiff. That's okay. Glistener Elf is definitely a problem. Okay, so I think let's see, they've done this and they've done this. So I could, you know, it's possible I just want to like get. I mean, I guess they could have drawn anything, but I'm still gonna just Green Sun Zenith, and this will force a no block, and I'm not gonna Cabal Therapy this turn. Yeah, I'm just gonna get Veteran Explorer and chill, because they have no other colored sources in their yeah, I'm gonna just chill and hope that they do something like play out a Plague Engineer, or sorry, play out a Blighted Agent, and then I'll hit them with the Plague Engineer. Yeah, so this is expected. Oh, interesting. I mean, I'm absolutely trading. That was very surprising. I'm going to turn off auto yields here. But yes, I'm going to use the ability. And I will get a snow-covered swamp and a island. Snow-covered island. And I'm just going to Liliana's Triumph here. And just try to kill the Blighted Agent. Okay, you can absolutely sacrifice the Ink Moth instead. That's fine with me. Oh, they have another one, but that's still okay. I realize they have one more. So the Abrupt Decay answers the Glistener Elf. Yeah, I'm still in good shape here. So I'm gonna use the Plague Engineer. And again, I'm gonna name Human. And just pass the turn. Yeah. and I'm going to Abrupt Decay the Glistener Elf. If they have a pump spell here, or a hexproof spell, like, that's fine. One of the keys in this matchup is you want to use your removal such that they can't 2-for-1 you, basically. You know, both pump the creature to get more infect damage and protect the creature with like a hexproof spell. Cool. So now I still have Assassin's Trophy for the Inkmoth Nexus, but I'm gonna get in with the Plague Engineer. So my opponent has the Brainstorm, which I think is fine. I think I'm going to hold the Underground Sea in my hand. I'm not going to play it out. I do have the Field of the Dead in my hand, or in my deck, so it would be kind of awkward if I drew that, because then, you know, I could get a zombie next turn. But I think the little bit of secret information is good. So I'm gonna take the one Infect if they do this, but if they pump it, I'm gonna Assassin's Trophy in response. So let's see if we can survive here. Do they have a hexproof spell? If they do, I win. Or I lose. Okay, well, they get a land. But it looks like they only have the one basic forest, because otherwise they would have got it. Okay, so let's see here. So I can get the Elder Gargaroth, which is really good. I mean, I know they don't have Force of Will because they would have forced, but they could have Daze. They're on the draw, so maybe they wouldn't have Daze. I'm trying to look at what else I have here. I want something that sort of gets me some card advantage. Elder Gargaroth would definitely be the best thing, but I'm playing into Daze if I do that, and that's just a little risky. Yeah. Yeah, maybe let's see, I could just, yeah, maybe Uro is the answer here. Maybe Uro's the answer here. Let's do that. If they have double Daze, that's fine, I think. Alright, so let's just Green Sun X equals to 3. I'm gonna get Uro because I can play Uro next turn. Oh, I cut both Uros. Oh, that's a play error for sure. Whoops. I thought I had one more. So I think the answer here is get Eternal Witness and get the Assassin's Trophy back. All right. So now I'm playing out the land. I probably should have played it last turn, actually, although they don't have any like haste creatures, and since their mana wasn't up, they couldn't crop rotation. Because this deck sometimes runs crop rotation to get another Inkmoth Nexus. So my clock here is pretty respectable. So my opponent's in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, that's fine. So do I decay the Sylvan Library? I think I do here. I mean, they can have Veil, but I can't let them draw more cards. Even for life, even with them paying life. And the Karakas does nothing in this matchup, but I'm gonna keep it in hand. just to hide information from my opponent. They know I have the Assassin's Trophy, but you know, they're in a 2-turn clock here. They probably have some amount of humans in their hand that they can't play out. So at 3, I'm going to play the Misty, because I can always fetch out the Dryad Arbor. Yeah, Dryad Arbor. You know, you can get in that 1 more point of damage if they're able to answer one of my creatures. Alright. Alright. So that was good. That was good. Not sure I want to make any changes. I mean, Uro would have been good. Necromentia's not terrible in this matchup, but I just don't think there's anything I really want to run here. I don't think any of those are that great. Rex Sage is still good. Liliana Last Hope is still very good. Need the Assassin's Trophies for the Inkmoth Nexuses. The rest of this is fine. Leovold's fine. He's not amazing, but they run cantrips, so yeah. And Ice-Fang can also block the Inkmoth Nexus, although if they pump Berserk, you lose. Liliana's Triumph can do a little bit of work there. Yeah, I think I'm just good. I think I'd rather have Elder Gargaroth than the Uro. Scavenging Ooze is not that great in this matchup. I wonder if I'd rather have the Uro than the Scooze. Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I'll cut the Scooze and just put in an Uro. But otherwise, I think this is good. Alright. On the draw. Always dangerous against a deck that can kill you turn 1. Alright. Yeah, this hand's great. You know, if the Veteran Explorer dies, like, you know, this is a good hand. Alright. They can always get you turn 1 here. But I'm debating, I guess, you know, I think I'm gonna play out the fetch land and just fetch a basic, because I know they're a wasteland deck. They might have a Daze or a Force of Will for the Veteran Explorer, but I think it's okay. I mean, I don't really have any other options, so. But yeah, if Veteran Explorer sticks, you know, I can. Okay, so this is great. Glistener Elf does not beat Veteran Explorer. I mean, they can have a pump spell, but that's fine. Like, if they're wasting pump spells on Veteran Explorer, that's fine. Well, that's one way to do it, I guess. Oh, he didn't even play it out. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm totally going to Thoughtseize my opponent here. I'm going to play out a second Veteran Explorer, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh man, this is a dangerous hand. So I think I have to let the creatures in, even though they're super dangerous. And I have to take either Invigorate or Berserk. And because I have a bunch of blockers, I think I'm going to take Berserk. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Berserk. Man, I wish I fetched a land that could produce black with that, with my fetch land. Yeah, I think Invigorate's really dangerous, but yeah, maybe I take Invigorate here. Because Invigorate can protect them from the lilies. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll take the Invigorate. And I'm just going to play another Veteran Explorer here. Oh man, I'm still in a bit of trouble because I really need them to, you know, they can just drop more pump spells. They can play out a Glistener or a Blighted Agent, which is trouble because I don't really have anything that answers a Blighted Agent. Oh, okay, good. That's fine. I'm totally going to double block. He still has it. He still has Invigorate Berserk. Oh, and I think that's still lethal. It is. Yeah, well, that's a shame. He drew into it. Alright, whatever. Tough matchup. Tough matchup. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, whatever. On to the next one. I don't think I played anything super wrong there. You know, maybe I could have taken the Berserk because they don't run 4 Berserks and they do run 4 Invigorates, so it was more likely that my opponent draws an Invigorate than a Berserk, I would say. But I don't think I played anything super wrong there. Yokel, and I'm on the draw. All right. Hand's not amazing, but I think it's okay. Double Cabal Therapy. If I play the Dryad Arbor out early, I can, or draw another land, I think this is okay. It's got some disruption. It's a little vulnerable to like aggro. Huh. I don't know what this could be. Kind of interesting. So I'm gonna play the basic here, and I am gonna Cabal Therapy them. Bloodstained Mire like reeks of combo, you know, like some Dark Ritual deck. So the answer might, like, you know, I guess it could be, well, let's just do it. See what they do. It could be Reanimator, or it could be like a Storm deck. Obviously, this is dangerous against the Storm decks who run. They run Veil main deck, which is trouble. But you know, if they Veil this, I guess that's magic. Well, they're not veiling, so it's an Underground Sea deck. Why would they fetch and then, like, that doesn't make any sense. It makes me want to name Brainstorm here, actually. A lot, because it makes me think that they were thinking about brainstorming. So I am going to name Brainstorm, because it makes me think they were thinking about brainstorming, and then they didn't brainstorm. Like, it's just a very weird play. Whatever. Let's see what happens. Got him. Dark Ritual would have also been a good name. So, okay. This looks like, not Tess. This looks like the other one. This looks like Ad Nauseam Tendrils. So I can totally strip their hand of everything else if I want to lose the Dryad Arbor, which I'm not sure I do. I might just take the Cabal Rituals. Okay, he's got a fetch land. So this is still his 5. Or my opponent's 5. I guess, well, I guess that's not quite accurate because they brainstormed. They could have put something back. Well, looks like they're storming off here. Got lots of mana. Infernal Tutor. Getting Ad Nauseam, or I guess they have the other one. Oh, no, they're going for Ad Nauseam. Okay. Got lots of mana. There's tendrils. I think that's enough actually already. Because they can Cabal Ritual, which generates 5, play an LED, and then I lose. Yeah, I think this is lethal. If they Thoughtseize me, I will concede. Alright, so they have lethal in hand, so I'm just going to concede and save information. Okay, so this looks like ad nauseam tendrils, which is fine. So Veil's good. I don't like Carpet in this matchup, even though they run islands. I don't like it. Ad nauseam tendrils runs 1 or maybe 2 basics, so I'm just not going to worry about it. Necromentia is good, although normally you get Burning Wish, but I don't know what's good here. Probably Infernal Tutor. Leyline of the Void's good. Mindbreak Trap's good. The top end of the curve is all bad, so those are bad. Collector Ouphe is good. Thoughtseize and Cabal Therapy are good. Veteran Explorer. I might trim one of those. Rex Sage is good. Leovold's good. Actually, I probably don't want Necromentia. But these 8 are good. Assassin's Trophy is not stellar, but I guess it's something. Huh. I think I definitely want all the beaters. All the random beaters. And I want Plague Engineer. Probably don't want Eternal Witness. I can't imagine there's anything I really want there. And I could probably see myself cutting the Uros. I don't think the gaining life is relevant, and it's just too slow. It doesn't prevent it presents a clock, but only on turn 5 or 6. It doesn't. I think I'd rather have 1 1s and 2 2s beating down, and then Green Sun for Questing Beast to finish them off. Sylvan Library is not stellar in this matchup. It's a little better on the play. Fiend Artisan's good. It's a random beater, and you can get a Plague Engineer if you need it. So I think I'm going to keep that. I think I'd cut the Sylvan Library before I cut any of the rest of it. I might cut Field of the Dead because I don't think that's going to do anything, and I'm going to trim a vet. And I think the rest of this is good. The lilies are okay. Yeah, this is good. So let's see, I was on the draw. I lost, and I was up against ad nauseam tendrils. Alright. I will play first. Okay, I mean, it's not amazing, but it has stuff. Yeah, it has stuff. I don't hate it. Yeah, let's keep it. Is it good enough? I mean, I guess it's okay. I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to open with Cabal Therapy, probably naming Dark Ritual here. I think that's the thing that really enables them to get started. So I'm going to start with that. Alright, Dark Ritual. Let's see. Let's go. Got one. That's all you can ask for. So they'll probably open here with Thoughtseize. Let's see what they get. So they have no blue mana, notably. If I hit their ad nauseam, I feel like they're in trouble. Okay. Well, I can... Well, let's see. If I sacrifice it and they have an island, they can brainstorm. So I'm sort of hesitant to do that. Yeah, I'm sort of hesitant to do that. I don't really want to sacrifice the Hexdrinker. You know what? Yeah. Because if they have an island, I know Tess doesn't run an island, but Ad Nauseam Tendrils might. You know, I think I'm just gonna throw away my Dryad Arbor into it. And I'm gonna take their Ad Nauseam. Yeah, let's do that. I should have played out the Bayou, because, you know. Alright, I'm gonna get the Dryad Arbor, because I don't want to throw away the Hexdrinker. It's double the clock, so I'm gonna just flashback Cabal Therapy here. And I'm gonna hit Ad Nauseam, because that's their payoff card. Alright. I know they have, so they had a basic island, but it was in their hand. That's a shame. Alright, so they drew a Preordain. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to Hexdrinker here, and then next turn I will Collector Ouphe. And hope they don't have some other payoff. Hope they don't hit a payoff here. I think they're short. Well, I guess they could hit. I mean, I guess they have mana for Cabal Ritual here. Although it only generates 3. Alright. So I want Collector Ouphe. I think that's better than Scooze here. Even though they have Cabal Ritual, I think it's better. And next turn I can just pump mana into the... I can pump mana into Hexdrinker. They have mana for Cabal Ritual. Let's see if they storm off here. No. Leyline's interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, here's the question. Do I think Leyline is better than just presenting a 2-turn clock? I think the 2-turn clock is better. So I get it. I hit him for 6 this turn, which makes Ad Nauseam much weaker if they're somehow able to flash it back. And then the next turn I pump up to 8. I'm going to do that. All right, so I have them on board. Yeah, right. Okay. So, are there any changes I want to make? Not really. So it's interesting that they do have the basic island. That sort of changes my thought on Veteran Explorer. Against Tess, I basically never worry about it, but Ad Nauseam Tendrils sometimes runs the basic island. It makes flashing back with Cabal Therapy a lot worse on Veteran Explorer. The removal's probably not very good, but it does at least, and I don't have anything that like forces them to play out their artifacts or anything, so maybe the answer is just cut some of these things. cut this for like maybe the Eternal Witness. It's just a beater. And maybe, yeah, I don't think I want any of the rest of this. The only artifact that they really play out a turn early sometimes is the Wishclaw Talisman. And I think that Assassin's Trophy, I think I don't want Assassin's Trophy against that. I can't imagine I'm going to ever hit their lands. So do I want another Veteran Explorer or a Sylvan Library or an Uro? I mean, gaining life isn't nothing against Storm, but it's not a lot. Might just take the vet. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take the Sylvan Library. Alright, let's hope we can like hit him with like a Leyline and a Mindbreak Trap. That's what I really want in my opening hand. I mean, I will keep this hand. This hand's good. Leyline shuts, it drastically weakens Cabal Ritual. So I'm going to hit Dark, or I'm going to name Dark Ritual with Cabal Therapy. Because that's probably the card I'm most worried about. If they have to play out, oh man, are they going to storm off here? No, they're just playing out an artifact. That's fine. Okay, my other option here is to Veil. They could have a Veil of their own. They're running green. They just played out a Lotus Petal. Makes me sort of suspicious. But I might still Cabal Therapy here. You know, if they have Veil, like they lose the Lotus Petal, I think that's okay. I want to get the Cabal Therapy into my graveyard so that I can flashback Veteran Explorer next turn. So I think that's my plan. I think that's better than holding up Veil. So I'm going to just name Dark Ritual here. Yeah, because if they play out the if they play out some sort of fast mana, like, you know, I think Dark Ritual is probably their biggest enabler. I would say Infernal Tutor is another good one, but I think now that they're sometimes splitting Infernal Tutor and Wishclaw Talisman, I know Dark Ritual's a 4 of, and it's much better in Cabal Ritual right now. So I'm going to name Dark Ritual. Alright, well that's a hit. Past in Flames is dead. Alright, that's a pretty good hit overall. So they have a Brainstorm and a, okay. That's good that they play out the Brainstorm. Brainstorm, you worry about flashing back Cabal Therapy if they have that. Okay, got a land. So it's unclear how much of this they kept. Past in Flames they probably got rid of, because that's dead. There's the Wishclaw Talisman, which I will Abrupt Decay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I would bet here that Past in Flames is gone. Preordain might still be in their hand. Cabal Ritual, it's possible it's in their hand, but it only nets 1 mana, so I sort of don't think so. I sort of suspect they put these 2 away, drew these 2, and have yeah, that's my bet. So I'm gonna Green Sun. So I have, I guess, 2 options here. I can Abrupt Decay the Wishclaw Talisman, which is pretty strong. And then next turn I can Green Sun for Collector Ouphe, which is pretty good. My other option is to Cabal Therapy. That might just give them too much land. I'm sort of worried about how much land they have. Yeah, maybe the answer is just Abrupt Decay the Wishclaw Talisman here, and then get Collector Ouphe next turn. Yeah, it's a tough line. So you're either Abrupt Decaying Wishclaw Talisman or Green Sunning for Veteran Explorer, flashing back Cabal Therapy. Maybe you get something, and then I can still Abrupt Decay the Wishclaw Talisman, but I'm giving them 1, maybe 2 lands, and if they just like top deck ad nauseum, you just lose. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Abrupt Decay the Wishclaw Talisman here. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm doing it on my turn so that they can't use it. Because if you do it on their turn, even during their upkeep, they can use it. Okay, so this is great. Okay, this is great too. So I'm gonna start with Collector Ouphe off of Green Sun Zenith, and I'm gonna do it off of a Trop. That gives me the double green for Questing Beast, and I already have double black for everything else that I would need. This shuts off Lion's Eye Diamond. Flusterstorm. That is surprising. Alright. I can't Veil here, so that is the end. So I'm guessing they don't have Preordain now, because they would have played it last turn. So I'm going to guess Preordain's gone, and I'm going to guess Past in Flames is gone. Cabal Ritual could be here, could be something else. I don't know. They really wanted to keep the LED active, so now the question here is, next turn, do I play out Questing Beast and just go for beatdown, or do I... Okay, they're gonna Thoughtseize me. Nothing I can do there. They either take the Veil or the Questing Beast here. I guess that sort of dictates what my next turn is. Probably a little more worried if they take the Questing Beast. Or, sorry, the Veil, because that means they're not worried about the Questing Beast. Alright. So I can Flashback Therapy here and get them with Questing Beast, but I'm not sure I want to give them any lands. It's just so dangerous to give this deck lands, and I don't really have anything that I can do with the Veteran Explorer. I have no idea what's in their hand. I'm definitely playing the Swamp. And they're not worried about Questing Beast, which is not good. So the question here is, do I think a Cabal Therapy is better than just holding, like, do I think holding Cabal Therapy now is better? Right now I think it is. It's too dangerous to give it to them. I'd be a little more willing to give it to them next turn when Questing Beast has cut their life total in half. Brainstorm. So they didn't hold priority, so nothing to sweat yet. There's another LED. Super dangerous. I would really like... Okay. So who knows what their last card is? Okay. Well, let's get the Questing Beast in. Cabal Therapy here. I don't know what I'm going to name here. Almost, I guess they've shuffled things away, so like the top of their deck's not relevant. I mean, I guess it, and they just brainstormed. It really could be anything, but I think the card I'm most worried about here is probably Brainstorm, because if they don't have a Brainstorm, I can play Veteran Explorer and take whatever their other card is. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to name Brainstorm. So it was the Cabal Ritual. Okay. Guess we'll find out how many basics they have. at the time where it pretty much doesn't matter. Alright, so let's get a forest and a island. So do they run 2 basics or just the island? I would suspect they run a swamp, so I bet there's 2. Which means they can top deck an ad nauseum, which is dangerous, but they're already at 7 life. So my opponent knows I have nothing. But I have the Questing Beast in play. So I just have to avoid 2 top decks on their unknown board. Oh, Mindbreak Trap is an excellent draw. That's basically the best thing I could conceivably draw in the whole deck. I can hardcast it too. No reason to hit Brainstorm. You got it. So they got 1 card. I mean, I'm gonna Mindbreak Trap it here. Alright. Good one. Alright. Alright, on to match 3. So I lost to Infect and I beat Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Alright. Both went to 3 games. I think the Infect game was pretty close. They had a pretty good draw both times. You know, they had Berserk. But yeah, you know, tough matchup still. I am definitely facing a lot of combo. Veil of Bummer. I have played against this person, but I don't remember what they were running. Boy, that's a lot of green mana. Huh. And let's see, I'm on the draw. And this has to fetch an, if I want to play black spells, this has to fetch a non-basic. Even still, this 6, like, you know, I look at this 6 of Misty Rainforest, basic, Assassin's Trophy, Hexdrinker, Cabal Therapy, and I don't hate it. So I'm going to keep this. It's a very weak 7, I would say. Like a weak, like on the very weak range of the keepable 7. Sometimes I feel I might keep slightly too much of a range of my hands, but I don't know. Might be a play issue for me, but I'm going to keep it anyway. We'll see what they do. I'll check my spreadsheet and see what this person was playing last time. Let's see. They were playing Black-Red Reanimator last time, so this does not look like Black-Red Reanimator. Okay, I don't hate Fiend Artisan at all, but I think I'm going to open with the Cabal Therapy. I'll just name Brainstorm here, just to sort of get a look, figure out what I'm playing against, everything. And let's see here, I'm going to open with an Underground Sea. That's just going to, my opponent's going to be very confused, but I think that's fine. So, I mean, there's no deck that runs Preordained that doesn't run 4 Brainstorms, so there it is. I'm gonna name Brainstorm and hope to hit. Boom. So this looks like another Storm deck. So they're gonna Thoughtseize me here, but there's nothing I really care about. Even the Assassin's Trophy isn't very good. You know, I could flash back. Okay, so they fetched 2 basics, so I assume they have no more. So if I Assassin's Trophy, I think it's free. So if they play out the LED, I'd consider Assassin's Trophying it. This is a matchup where you just need to present a clock, any clock. You know, even 2/2s will get the job done in a pinch. Okay, Fiend Artisan's fine. I'm definitely not flashing back off of the Hexdrinker. Let's see. Yeah, I think the answer is just play the Hexdrinker here. I'll consider using this with Cabal Therapy, getting Dryad Arbor for Cabal Therapy the next turn, but I think this turn I'm just going to play the Hexdrinker and tick it up and, you know, start the clock. Yeah. So I think this is okay. My opponent, you know, they have two unknowns in hand, and hopefully they don't have a payoff spell. Plague Engineer is pretty good here. You can name Goblin. This looks like Ad Nauseam Tendrils again. And I think they do run the Goblins. So the question is, do I hit their hand, or do I just play out like a Plague Engineer? They still need like a payoff spell. I think I'm going to play the Plague Engineer. Just really starts the beats. This is a deck where, you know, they do have to be very conscious of their life total, because you know once they're low enough, I'm naming Goblin in case they have Empty the Warrens. But you know, this is a deck where like Ad Nauseam gets much worse. Okay, well, here it comes. As their life total gets lower, Ad Nauseam gets much worse. There's all their unknowns. Another LED. I guess they... okay. And here... okay. So Ad Nauseam is still there. They do have to be... okay. I guess they could... no. Okay. Yep. Maybe I should have flashed back the therapy off of the... maybe even the Hexdrinker. I don't know. But whatever. Well, there it is. Oh man, they have so much mana. I'm probably dead here. Still no payoff spell. Preordain's pretty good. Past in Flames will do it. Okay. I think I'm dead. Yeah, I'm gonna let them storm off. So this is Ad Nauseam Tendrils again. Maybe I needed to make them discard. But yeah, that's lethal. That's like, this is the most Ad Nauseam Tendrils I've faced in a long time, I feel. Alright, so I saw quite a bit of their deck. That's fine. So I'm going to sideboard pretty much exactly the same. Bring in the Veils, bring in the Ley Lines, bring in the Mindbreak Traps. I didn't see an Empty the Warrens, and it didn't look like I didn't see any Burning Wishes, so maybe they're not running it. I might still leave in the Plague Engineers anyway. I think the Uros, at least one of the Uros is going out. Sylvan Library can probably go out. The Assassin's Trophies can probably go out. They are running 2 basics. Let's see here. Eternal Witness isn't great. I think I cut the Field of the Dead and I cut Veteran Explorer, I want to say. I'll probably do the same. With them running 2 basics, maybe I'll just keep those out. Alright. Okay. I don't hate this. It's not great, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep it. And I'm not gonna play out the vet. I'm just gonna play out a Verdant and pass. Leaving up the Veil, because I assume that they'll have a discard spell turn 1. Oh wow, they're just gonna go for it. was really weird. Okay. So here, I think I want to hit the Wishclaw Talisman, actually. Like, even though that leaves the shields down, I think that's better. So I'm going to get a, let's see, yeah, I think I'm going to get an Underground Sea. Yeah. Yep. So the shields are down with respect to Veil, but I think it's still good. Maybe they baited me. They're going to go for it. Here's Ad Nauseam. I think this is probably game here. They still actually don't have a ton of fast mana. Oh, now they do. I think that's game. I think that's enough. Let's see. Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Lotus Petal. So they can't cast any of the blue stuff and Past in Flames, but they have a lot of black mana and Infernal Tutor. I think it's game. Oh man, maybe I needed to mulligan towards that Mindbreak trap. Well, they now know I have nothing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is game. Yeah, because they can Past in Flames, Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, whatever. Well, Cabal Ritual first, you probably want to do. And then you Infernal Tutor. Yeah. Yep, pretty sure I'm dead. Wait, what? What just happened? They flash back in... That must have been a mistake. Oh man, they flash back Ad Nauseam. I'm certain they meant to flash back Infernal Tutor. I will take it. I will take it. Yeah, there's no way that was... no way that was intentional, because all they had to do was flash back their fast mana, flash back Infernal Tutor, get Tendrils, and Tendrils me, and I die. Alright, well, whatever, I'll take it. Don't think there's any changes I want to make. Yeah, I don't think Necromentia, I mean, it's okay in this matchup. Maybe it's better than Veteran Explorer. No. Because they're running Veils too. Might still be better than Veteran Explorer. You know, the other thing is maybe I cut a vet for a carpet. Just Veteran Explorer is such a liability against two basics. Yeah, maybe I'll bring in the Necromentia too. Alright, whatever. We'll try this out. So I'm not sure what... I'm sure my opponent didn't mean to do that. Hand is gas. This hand's great. It's slow, but it has Mindbreak Trap, it has Cabal Therapy. I'm definitely keeping it. Oh my god. I accidentally F6 through the turn. Wow. Wow. That's disastrous. I can't believe that. That's pretty bad. Well, I guess my opponent and I are even for their player versus my player. Alright. Well, let's do what I should have done last turn and hope they don't have a Veil. It's much worse if they crack Misty for Veil versus if they tap the Lotus Petal. They could just have a Brainstorm, which is... yeah, alright. Oh, Flusterstorm, that's fine. I don't care. That's really interesting. I would... well, that's fine. They must have some dark rituals. Ponder. Sure. Spell number 1. Spell number 2. Alright. Oh man. It's so good. That was the nut draw off the top there. Alright. Well, after a pretty egregious play error, I still managed to win that one. So I've beaten Ad Nauseam Tendrils twice, and we'll go on. I can't believe I F6 through that, or whatever, 6th. Anyway, yeah, this is one thing, you know, historically, Storm, Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and the Epic Storm have been like some of the absolute worst matchups for Nic Fit, but I actually don't think that's the case anymore. Collector Ouphe has helped the matchup so much. On the play this time. On the play. Hands gas. Let's do it. Yep, keeping. So I'm going to open with Thoughtseize here over Veteran Explorer. My opponent is mulligan to 6, which is fine. Alright, and so the question here, I can open with a basic Swamp, Underground Sea, or Bayou. I think Bayou gives off the least information and opens me up to play, you know, anything I want next turn. So I'm gonna start with a Bayou. And it's also the land I care the least about if they wasteland me. Okay. Okay, so this is some sort of like Reclaimer deck. Okay. I think that's fine. I think I take the Elvish Reclaimer here. I think that's the card I'm most worried about. The rest of their hand is whatever. Yeah, don't care about the Swords to Plowshares right now. And the Sylvan Library, I'll Thoughtseize it next turn. And if they swords my Veteran Explorer, that's fine with me. Alright. It's Thoughtseize, and I'm going to fetch a basic and play the vet. Knight of the Reliquary. Oh, that's interesting. I can't remember. Maybe this is... Oh, you know what this is? This is Green-White Depths. Okay. This is Green-White Depths. I actually have never played this matchup from this side of the from that side of the table. I've played this matchup, but I've never played against it. I think still I hit the Sylvan here. They need a land drop to get to the Knight, so I think I hit the Sylvan here. Cool. And I'm just gonna fetch a basic and play the vet. If they plow it, whatever. I don't care. I think this is a really strong deck, Green-White Depths, that is. Okay, well, they got Knight of the Reliquary next turn if they want it. And Veteran Explorer is super trouble against Field of the Dead, so I don't like that. Whatever. Let's get the beats in with the vet. I still would love for them to plow it. Because I can Assassin's Trophy the Knight of the Reliquary, but I don't love that. Like, it's not amazing. This matchup is probably, it might be worse than regular Depths for Nic Fit. You know, they have sort of the slow grind. Tons of their stuff is all must answer. You know, both all the Knights and the Elvish Reclaimers, and obviously you have to respect the combo. Yeah. I don't think I can let them untap with the Knight, because then they're representing the combo. So I think I Assassin's Trophy here. It gives them a land, which is dangerous. My clock is not fast enough to really matter, especially they're basically ignoring part of my clock because they have Source of Plowshares. Oh, now they're representing the full combo here. This is probably game. They might just go for it. I'm gonna fetch just a Thin. I'm probably dead here though. What do I want to get? Maybe a Trop? Yeah, probably a Trop here. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm dead. This deck runs multiple basics too. They typically also have a basic, a white basic. Plains. it's green-white black depths. I'm gonna just, yeah. Although we haven't seen a black card. It's probably Plague Engineer or Abrupt Decay. So they have the combo here. And if they just go for the combo, I'll concede. Oh, didn't go for it. Okay. Wasteland's good. Not sure what the plan is here. I'm just going to keep beating down. And I'll play a Misty and pass. Okay. Are they just gonna try to beat me with Field of the Dead? I mean, that will work. Veteran Explorer is very bad against decks with Field of the Dead. Trouble. That's bad. Okay, well, that's something. Should I just concede here? I mean, I guess they don't have the combo now. Yeah, this deck just matches up really well against me. It is a wasteland deck, so you don't want to cut all the vets, you know? It does have some sideboard options. Necromentia is pretty good. You can name Thespian Stage if they don't already have a Thespian Stage in play, because they don't have any like vampire hex mages or anything. So Thespian Stage like stops the full combo. Yeah. Leyline is okay. I don't know if they really run Loam though. I'm wondering if I don't run Leyline. I don't know. Zero cards in hand, so this doesn't do anything. My opponent can just go for the combo here. I don't really want to reveal any more to them. Let's see, they can 2 sack this, get depths, 2 turn this into, yeah. I mean they can end the game here. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty hard matchup for Nic Fit. Yeah. Just the you know, it's sort of a slower depths than like the green-black one or the rainbow one. And I actually think that's harder because, you know, those decks you can sometimes just, like if you stop the combo once, you almost always win. Whereas this deck is has got a lot more ways to like get the combo going. Did he just get a fetch land? Did my opponent just get a fetch land? Huh. Alright. I'm just gonna F6 through this turn and concede next turn, I think. Like, my opponent is kind of playing with their food a little bit. Alright, let's just concede. Okay, so I don't really know if I want Leyline. I don't think this deck has a lot of ways to actually get things back. Necromentia is definitely coming in, as is Liliana's Triumph. As long as you can keep them off of the combo, that's good. I don't think Liliana Last Hope does enough here. They don't run any like X1 creatures. Mindbreak Trap does nothing. Veil is a maybe. They do have black. It's probably for Abrupt Decay, but I don't know if I care that much about Abrupt Decay, to be 100% honest. I'm definitely cutting 3 Veteran Explorers. You know, they're on the Field of the Dead plan, so yeah, that's bad. Uro's okay. It's okay. Plague Engineer is probably not where I want to be. You know, you can like double Plague Engineer to take out zombies, but I don't think that's doing anything. Yeah, Elder Gargaroth isn't stellar here, but whatever. Alright. I might cut the... I think Veil of Summer, like, they probably have 2 Abrupt Decays and that's it, you know. It's probably really bad. I might just trim up Plague Engineer. You know, if you're going to trim one, though, you might as well trim both. Maybe I'll do that and, like, put in a Leyline. A one-of. I think it's better than Plague Engineer. I think Plague Engineer just does nothing in the matchup. I think that's okay. This is going to be a really hard matchup, I think. Alright, I will play. I drew my Leyline. I think this is actually okay. I mean, it's not amazing, but I can fetch basics, and I have Liliana's Triumph up. Like, I think this is okay. I'm going to keep it and put my Leyline into play. I mean, it's a one-of, but I think that's okay. I'll just play basics around everything they're doing. Sylvan Safekeeper, Sylvan Library, or Elvish Reclaimer. I guess Ramming Up Excavator does nothing. So I'm just going to hit the Sylvan Library here. Yeah. And next turn, if they play out the Reclaimer, I'm going to just Lily's Triumph. I'd rather they play out the Reclaimer than the Safekeeper. I'm not very worried about the Safekeeper. Alright. Yeah, let's do it. Alright. So, don't really care about the Sylvan Safekeeper, which I guess is one reason to run the Plague Engineer. Did I board out both of them? I did. That's fine. I think that's fine. Alright. So I'm going to play the Ice-Fang right now, just in case I draw either a Thoughtseize or a Cabal Therapy. Okay. That's fine. If he is a Knight of the Reliquary, that's trouble. Green Sun X equals 2. For a Pride Mage? Okay. That works. It's pretty good. So my opponent can... I can put my opponent to a choice. They can sack a land to keep the Pride Mage alive. I think that's okay. I mean, it just starts whittling away at their lands. Because, I mean, they can obviously keep the you know, sack it. But I'm hurting their lands, and these lands are going away, so... So let's hit it while I can. I know that they're gonna protect it, but that's fine. Okay. Sounds good. I'm not gonna attack. Okay. That's something, I guess. Just sort of forces them to use more things, so I think that's okay. I'm going to leave the Phyrexian Tower up. I'll play blue. So, you know, yeah, this doesn't target, so they are definitely losing a creature, but it could be any of them. They get to choose. Okay. They could have hit my Leyline and then kept the Sylvan, or not kept the Sylvan Safekeeper, but hit the Leyline, and then the Sylvan Safekeeper goes to their graveyard. Alright. And I think I kept the Eternal Witness in. Yeah. So that might be a decent card to go fetch. I'm sort of surprised to see a Qasali Pride Mage over like a Knight of Autumn. I feel like that's a little bit better in this matchup. That's trouble. Surprised actually my opponent did that. But that's okay. I don't hate that. Let's do it. Now the question here is, what do I do? Like, do I tick up or do I tick down? So my opponent can absolutely put another land into the graveyard, and then if they just have a land and a Raminap, that kind of hurts. But I think I have to take care of the Reclaimer. Yep. Oh, interesting. Alright. Well, I'm not attacking now. going to block. The blocking isn't stellar, but it'll, you know, let me do a little bit more damage with the Lily. And the Dryad Arbor is not amazing. That's pretty good. So I definitely want to hit the Ramanap here. I'm going to lose the Lily of the Veil, which is fine. Okay. Gets my Uros. Yeah, but getting the Ramanap is really good here. You know, even though my opponent is a couple lands away from being able to use it, it's that's a very dangerous card in this matchup. Ramanap Excavator. Oh, interesting. Veil. Okay. Well, Veil's going away. So my opponent gets to beat down at Lily and take her away, but oh well. Let's hope they didn't draw another Veil. We're in a top deck battle. My opponent's deck might be a little bit lower to the ground than mine, though. With no Uros, the islands aren't very good. I think I have a Leovold left. That's the only blue card in the whole deck. Because the Ice-Fang's dead. The Ice-Fang's in exile. Karakas is not very good for me. I have a number of legends. But, you know, if I can just draw like a prime time off the top, my opponent's in big trouble. Field of the Dead wouldn't be a terrible top deck. There's a number of decent ones. My opponent was very patient with the surgical. Did my opponent disconnect or something? Can't be too many decisions right now. But their hand might start to stack up with things like Knight of the Reliquaries, which are very dangerous if they can draw another land. They do have a number of dead draws, though. I think I kept in the Elder Gargaroth, which is pretty not stellar in this matchup because my opponent has Swords to Plowshares, but I think it's okay. I mean, I would take it off the top even if my opponent is just going to plow it or something. But Prime Time would be the best card off the top. Field of the Dead's probably second. Yeah, I don't know. Karakas sort of invalidates. It doesn't invalidate Leovold. I guess it makes Leovold worse, but like at least I'm gonna draw cards. The only other legend is Questing Beast. No other legends, just those two in the deck. I mean, now that the Uros are gone. So Leovold and Questing Beast. Yeah, lots of live draws in the deck. So could even draw another Liliana. That would be pretty good. Field of the Dead would let me put 4 power right onto the board with Prismatic Vista. So that'd be good. Eternal Witness would be decent. I don't know what I'd get. Probably Liliana. So I could go like green, fetch a forest with the Prismatic Vista and go green, blue for Eternal Witness, and then black, blue for Liliana, and just start ticking up. That'd be really good. That would probably be game ending, or close to it. I mean, my opponent would be in big trouble. Not sure what my opponent's doing. They might be disconnected, although usually it shows if they disconnect. There's Dark Depths. That's half the combo. Hexdrinker's not bad. Guess we'll swords check him here. Okay. Okay, crop rotation is game ending. I guess no reason to... I'm going to hold the forest. Especially since it doesn't even count as a different land for field. Oh my god, really? Just natural drew into it. Well, let's thin. It sort of telegraphs what I got going on, but I don't think there's anything going on here. Well, that's a blocker. I'm debating, so I can block here or hold up. I think holding up is fine because my opponent would probably swords it earlier. Like, yeah, they could have a swords. They're already through 2 swords, but I think I'm just going to hold it up. I'm not going to block. Because I need to... I think this draws me basically 1 more card. That's fine, I don't care about that. I mean, I guess it's so big, it just... Now I'm really hosed, actually. Oh, yeah, I'm totally dead. I don't even know if there's anything I can draw here. Yeah, I have to draw a card here. Well, that keeps me alive. Does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's just game. Tough matchup. Alright. Last match. So, yeah. Green, white, black depths. I didn't actually see a black card. I assume it was Plague Engineer. but whatever. Yeah, that slow depths is a really hard matchup, I think, for Nic Fit. Probably one of the hardest combo decks. You know, you sort of worry about fast combo, but you also worry about these decks that can just always combo at any time. This person plays lots of different decks. I've played this person a number of times before. This is not keepable. This is. And I'm on the play. Okay. So I'm going to keep this. I'll probably bottom the Elder Gargaroth. It's kind of a big payoff spell, but I think I just want to make my land drops. I have Green Sun Zenith, and Uro's just really good. So I think that's the plan. So I'm just going to play out vet here. And we'll see what my opponent's got. Another Reclaimer deck. Alright, well, I think I just hold up here. Not attacking. Oh, it is post. That's a lot of trouble. Oh, man. This is... I'm in big trouble. Post is, like, so hard to beat. So they don't typically run Wasteland, so I'm just gonna get a drop here. Or I'm gonna get a drop. Blech. This matchup's so hard. Alright. Well, let's do it. This is probably the absolute hardest matchup for Nic Fit. Wow. Alright. Just keep drawing these terrible veteran explorers who are like absolutely worthless. In terms of good cards in this matchup, I don't even know. There's like not a lot very good. Yeah. I don't even know. You need a lot of discard. Like, I mean, I guess I can get Questing Beast here, which is okay. It starts the clock. I could get Scavenging Ooze. I think my only chance here is really just to beat down as fast as possible. But I'm in huge trouble here. Because my opponent is basically going to sack the... My opponent is going to sack the bog to get another post here. And then the next turn they just have so much mana. Well, yeah, let's just start the clock as fast as possible. But I think this matchup is... I think this is probably a loss already. Yeah, I think that's better than any of the rest of this stuff. My opponent's just going to have a trillion mana very shortly. Yeah, so they get a second post here, and then the next turn they can even like sack the forest and get another post and just have, you know, I guess that's only like 6 mana that turn. But yeah, I mean, it's they have a lot of mana. If they play like a Glimmer post here, they have a ton. Wow, are they short mana? That'd be interesting. Okay. I'm definitely attacking with Questing Beast. I'm going to play this out here, just in case I draw something relevant. That's moderately relevant. I will use it. Might be able to get a payoff. Pithing Needle does nothing, Lightning Bolt does nothing, Rex Sage does nothing, so it's Ulamog for sure. Okay, Lightning Bolt. I don't think I've ever seen a Cloudpost deck run Lightning Bolt. But that lets them get a lot more mana. So they could, I guess, get a red mana and bolt a Veteran Explorer. Well, I'm definitely taking Ulamog here. And I might as well just play out one of the bets. The clock still isn't that fast. Karakas is pretty good. Not a lot I can do other than force them to use that. So this could be another post or an Eye of Ugin. Okay, well, they have all the mana they need forever. Guess they could sack the Karakas, but I don't think they will. Yeah. Get a red mana maybe? No. Gain some life. Works. And go back to another Cloudpost. Sure. That's trouble. So that's, oh, interesting, just a Glimmer Post. I guess they can just get Eye of Ugin whenever they want. I don't know what they name here. Alright. Karn liberated. Respect. Alright, let's see here. Elder Gargaroth is decent. Leovold is okay. Leovold would draw me cards, but they're gonna counter it with the Karakas. I'm a mana short on Primetime, and I don't even think Primetime is that stellar here. I mean, getting Karakas, I guess, is good, but yeah, it's probably just Elder Gargaroth here. Even Elder Gargaroth, it's not amazing. They can just double block it. Does draw a card. I don't think Eternal Witness for Thoughtseize does anything. Fiend Artisan isn't terrible here. I'm sure they have basics. I don't really want to give them land, so sacking things isn't that great. Well, let's get the attack in. It probably is Fiend Artisan here. Yep. mean, even Fiend Artisan, I don't know what I'm getting. Plague Engineer is terrible. Yeah, whatever, I'll just get Elder Gargaroth maybe. It's at least a big dumb beater that it's at least a big dumb beater that they're gonna have to deal with. So much mana. So they have 16. Oh, they can do it right here if they have another, what do you call it? Because Ulamog casts 2 less. Oh, Emrakul Promised End? Sure, I guess so. I mean, this is dangerous. I'm going to lose my Elder Gargaroth. I'm going to lose lots of things. I'm wondering if I should just concede here. It's probably worth a concession. I don't think there's any way out of this. Yeah, I think I'll just concede. Alright. There's just no way out of that. Like, they're going to attack my Elder Gargaroth into Emrakul, gain some life, whatever. Attack the vets, get a bunch of lands. I think that's fine. Yeah, there's nothing I'm doing here. Okay. So this matchup's hard. Long story short. Necromench is good. Lily's Triumph is good. Veteran Explorers are bad. Discard's good. Collector Ouphe is fine. Scavenging Ooze is okay. The rest of this is fine. Leovold's fine. Questing Beast is fine. Elder Gargaroth isn't stellar. But I might keep it in. Lily's good. Plague Engineers are dead. The rest of this is okay. So there's probably another card that I want. It's probably Mindbreak Trap. That at least has a use. And I'm wondering if I want another Mindbreak Trap over Elder Gargaroth. Mindbreak Trap is kind of interesting. You can use it on the big Eldrazi. They still get to do their thing, but they exile, which is kind of important. You can also just hit like a, like their deck runs very few threats. And so if you can just exile a couple threats, like that's enough. I think I'm going to keep the Gargaroth in. I'll just bring in one Mindbreak Trap. Necromench is hard to get to, but it can win the game. Sure. Yeah, this hand's fine. So I don't love this. You have a turn 1 therapy, turn 2 Veteran Explorer, flashback therapy, play Ice-Fang or something. And you hope basically to really screw over their hand. Like run them out of gas. So I'm going to name Elvish Reclaimer here. That's definitely the card that's the most dangerous. Alright. Miss. Very macabre. Okay. So they can Very Macabre here. This is interesting. So Punishing Fire. Huh. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. So the question here is, do I go through and get the Veteran Explorer knowing that they can P-Fire it? Or do I get something like Dryad Arbor? I think I will just get the Veteran Explorer. This might be a mistake, but even though they can P-Fire it, I think it's the right call. Well, that's okay. Okay. So they're considering whether to P-Fire the Veteran Explorer, get 2 more lands without giving me an extra card. That's fine. And I'm going to get an island. Ooh, I want to get a swamp though. Darn. Because there's certain cards that I can't cast, like Necromentia and the Lilies. But I can play the Ice-Fang this turn. I think as a result of that, I am going to get... I think I will get an island and a forest. I think the combination of drawing the cards from the combination of drawing the card off Ice-Fang Coatl and getting another card on my turn, I think that that's enough. Okay, they're going to Karakas me here. That's fine. That draws a bunch of cards, although it slows down the game a lot. Okay. So, let's see here. I can Green Sun, but I don't think there's anything particularly amazing to get. I can get Gargaroth. It's not the worst. Let's see, my opponent has only 1 land in the graveyard, so I guess they could have a crop rotation here. You know what? I'm gonna attack into them. If they block, if they have, they have it. Okay. So they're gonna put 2 lands into their graveyard and then Leovold. That will do it. That's trouble. Sigh. Okay. Boy, my opponent's had everything here. I'm gonna get a Bayou. And I will just get Elder Gargaroth. It's not the best card here, but it's something. And I played a land already. Really, to beat this deck, you need something like opposition agents. They're so good. I'm going to get the prime time. I'll get field and probably a fetch land. I wonder if I should get the Dryad Arbor. No, I'll get a fetch land. Alright. So my opponent has one turn here, but that's probably all they need. Because they're going to get, yeah. They can do that. They can get another Cloudpost and then tap for a ton of mana, especially if they have another land, another post land. They don't. Prime time? That's fine. So I have options here. I can trophy the prime time. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So Questing Beast is really interesting here. Let's see. Assassin's Trophy on one of the lands doesn't do anything because they can replay it with Ramanap. Let's see what I draw, I guess. Cabal Therapy is something. What is this? Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Well, I'm definitely going to attack. Huh. I guess I have options here. I could always... So these two trample, so if my opponent blocks him with like prime time, I can like, I don't know, Assassin's Trophy, or if he doesn't block him, I can Assassin's Trophy the Glacial Chasm. How much black do I have? I have enough. Alright, so I'm going to Cabal Therapy and hit the Rec Sage, which I'm pretty sure is what's there. Alright. Cool. Okay. So I think I just get in with just the Elder Gargaroth and the Primeval Titan. I'm going to draw a card. I will use Primeval Titan's ability. So I will get Dryad Arbor and I'll get a fetch land. Alright, let's see what they block with. They didn't block? I mean, then they're dead. Alright. Wow. That's very surprising to win that. Now that I've seen P-Fire, I'm starting to consider the ley lines. I think it's probably better than Mindbreak Trap. Mindbreak Trap is very iffy. Don't think Lily Last Hope is good enough here. What if this is bad? Definitely want the Assassin's Trophies. Abrupt Decays are good. Fiend Artisan's good. Sylvan Library's good. Collector Ouphe is okay. Lili's Triumph is okay. Even Hexdrinker is okay. Hexdrinker can win. Like if you can tick Hexdrinker all the way up, it can like, you know, it has protection from even Ulamog, so it can get through and push through those last couple points of damage. Leovold is probably not great here. I might trim Leovold. My opponent's not. You know what though? They have Punishing Fire and Lightning Bolt. Maybe I will keep Leovold in. Definitely want the Necromenches. I don't think Elder Gargaroth is good, even though it won that game. I don't think it's very good. Probably worried about Veil a bit. Both times I've gotten Elder Gargaroth, I haven't felt very good about it. I think I'm just going to play like this. I'm not going to board in more than one leyline. This is probably the hardest matchup that there is for Nic Fit. This hand has no plan, even though it's got a leyline, like 5 lands and a Veteran Explorer. Like, what's my path to victory here? This hand sucks, so I'm gonna mulligan it. Oh, this is worse. My opponent is also mulligan to 5. But I don't think I can keep this. I think I have to mulligan to 5. I think mulliganing more does favor me. Like, if we both have to mulligan a lot, I think it's okay. Okay, well, I'm keeping this. Prime time is bad. And I'm probably going to bottom the Questing Beast and just like attempt to Cabal Therapy my opponent out. Yeah, I think this is okay. I mean, okay as far as mulls to 5 go. It's not great. You know, I can just get my opponent. My opponent's got 4 cards. You know, like get them into a top deck mode and try to win somehow. Okay, my opponent has once upon a timed. Elvish Reclaimer. Don't like that. Oh wow, they kept a no lander. Well, I'm definitely hitting the Elvish Reclaimer. I might have gotten super lucky. Oh, they can't copy my green land. They can copy a black land or not. Okay, so they are going to do it. So I'm going to hit Green Sun Zenith here. I'm going to hold up the Dryad Arbor. Alright, dismiss, Green Sun Zenith. I'm not as worried about the Primeval Titan. So Grove of the Burn Willows, that's fine. I'm just going to play out the Hexdrinker. Hope they don't draw Punishing Fire. So no blue mana. Hope they don't draw one of their things. Alright. Oh wow. Well, I got lucky there. I would call that pretty lucky. My opponent had to super mulligan because this matchup is borderline impossible. Cool. So the deck felt pretty good. I went, let's see, I can look back at my results here. Return to details. I can look back at my results. So this was Infect, Ad Nauseam Tendrils, Green, White, Black Depths, and Post. So I'd actually say I got a little lucky. I mean, I faced 5 combo decks essentially. I mean, Green, White, Black Depths is sort of mid-rangey, maybe. But but yeah, I mean it's sort of like 5 combo decks, and to win 60% still feels pretty good on Nic Fit. Nic Fit's biggest weaknesses, of course, are combo. The days of being super weak to control are super. They're over a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying control is like a stellar matchup. It's not bad, but I don't think green white, or I don't think blue white miracles is like a walk in the park or anything. But yeah, the deck felt pretty good. Um, I got very lucky against Post. I would say I actually got a little bit lucky against Ad Nauseam Tendrils too. There was a point where my opponent like killed themselves when I'm pretty sure they had lethal. So I got a little bit lucky, but it's still nice to win 3 out of 5. I got very unlucky in terms of matchups. So yeah, I don't know. This was okay. This is I've probably played 40 or 50 matchups with this exact 75. I think with some minor tweaks, I've played more like 75 matches. But this, I don't think I'm changing anything here. I think if there's a card that's like on the chopping block, it's probably Fiend Artisan. Um, we didn't really see that this time. I didn't Green Sun Zenith for it. I considered Green Sunning for it. But, we didn't really see any matchups where it would shine anyway. This is sort of like a card that shines in against decks where you care about the creatures that are on your board. You're not just worried about, hey, how fast is my clock against my opponent. Whereas that was sort of like what I was focused on in all of these games. So yeah, I don't think there's anything that I would change here for next time. Um, I'm pretty happy with this exact 75. Over here in the sideboard, again, I don't think there's anything I really change. Liliana Last Hope is probably like the closest to the chopping block, but I really like that card. So yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, so make sure to check out nicfitmtg.com and check out some of our other videos. All right, awesome.